Yes, sir. We appreciate y'all.
Yep.
So, what do you want to talk about?
But yeah, man. So I got so going back, we were discussing Cool Herc's birthday, and with Africa Mabata too. Him being, he dubbed himself the Godfather of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Despite I understand before everybody come at us, despite the controversial, this is we just talking about history. We're not talking about what people did, violate and whatnot. So going back to Cool Herc, you talking about him bringing the b-boys, the party people together. You said that people were rapping, people were breakdancing. So does that make Coke La Rock the first MC?
Well, I don't know. Now that I don't know. I mean, I guess you can consider him maybe one of the, if not the first, maybe the first party MC where he was actually getting a recognition around town. You know what I mean? Maybe he was one of those. But I know there were definitely other people rapping before that. You know what I mean? But maybe he was one of the first because, I mean, whenever Cool Herc did a party, he would bring Coke La Rock with him. And so, that kind of helped him become the first notable rapper around New York. So maybe you can look at it like that. But as far as just the first rapper in general, no, I don't think he was the first. But yeah, so yeah. But shout out to Coke La Rock, man, because he's a founding father for rap as well.
All right. So going back, so let's go into like the breakdancing and the graffiti, the early days. Now, what I'm saying, so you are, what I'm saying, you from up top New York.
Yeah.
Me being from North Carolina, what I'm saying, we didn't really, what I'm saying. And I mean, like I stated before, the stuff was there, but it wasn't really here as strong as New York. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
So, like, as far as like the graffiti writing and the breakdancing, how was that like in your day? Coming up.
Man, graffiti was like everywhere, man. So it's like it made you just want to be a part of it. You know what I mean? So graffiti goes way back. You know what I mean? So everywhere you would go, whether it was trains or the side of a building, you know what I mean, a little tunnel somewhere, you saw graffiti. So it was like, man, I want to do that. It made you want to do that, tag up a little bit. So, you had a lot of different types of graffiti. Of course, you had the big things that major artists would do because they wanted to cover like a whole canvas. So sometimes they would do a piece that would cover like a whole train car. But then you had people who would just do what we call tagging up. And that means you just wanted to put your little signature somewhere, maybe in a little corner somewhere, like just to say Curt was here. You know what I mean? So I did mostly tagging up. You know what I mean? I would just, every now and then we might have some spray paint with us because we worked on a lot of stuff in the neighborhood. Me and my brother was like the neighborhood bike engineer. So if something was wrong with your bike, we could help you fix it in most cases. And so we would spray paint our bikes if we didn't like the color, stuff like that. So we always had spray paint. And so if we just so happened to be on the train or something like that, I'm like, yeah, let me put my little shh, you know what I mean? And so it was a great time for me. I loved it, man. I loved it.
That's what's up. See, I think that's the thing that's kind of missing now with the stuff today is like, and let me get this clear. Like the music and stuff that we're getting today, and we're going to talk about the beef and stuff. Like, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
But I think as far as like, what you're talking about, that's a cultural aspect. And I think that's really what's missing in hip hop. We get, we're so focused on the rapper. Like the rapper has been so heavily, concentrated on. And I'm not hating or not knocking, shout out to the rappers. But, what about the breakdancer? What about the graffiti artist? You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
Like people know all these rappers, but, they don't, what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to talk down to the youth when I say this, but, you don't know who a Crazy Leg is. Yeah, you don't know who a Phase 2 is.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, I don't care, man. I'm trying to get on this lean and shit, niggas, try to rock out with the Millie Rock and all that, get a bad bitch, it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I get it. That's what y'all into now. I can't change that. You know what I'm saying? I can't, that's like me us listen to hip hop when we was, and then my parents like, no, you need to listen to these Blind Melon, Blind Melon,
right.
Jelly records and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You need to listen to them, and honestly, I will say at that time, I'll say me personally, some of that older stuff I do appreciate because I understand like, okay, this music is still a part of us. It's a part of Black culture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I can respect someone like a Louis Jordan or like a Ray Charles and definitely James Brown and all that because that stuff hip hop pulls from all those things.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is the one music that what I'm saying you could take music and make music with music. We what I'm saying that's one thing that hip hop has done. That's why it's the juggernaut it is.
Yeah, and I remember when a lot of the sampling was first done. Sorry if I cut you off.
No, you good, man.
I remember there was a lot of older artists who didn't really care for it. Like, nah, I don't want this rap mess, sampling my music. But things started changing once they started getting the royalties. They're like, okay, y'all go ahead, do your thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, it helped a lot of the older artists, the James Brown eras, the Isaac Hayes, the Isley Brothers, all of those types that we sample from.
And that's what Stetsasonic was getting at. Talking all that jazz. It was like, hey, tell the truth. James Brown getting old. Until Rakim came out with I Got Soul. Exactly. I mean, that was the truth. It was,
facts.
The hip hop was helping, trying to help other people, the older people, not be forgotten.
Yeah.
And I think today's hip hop is kind of like a disconnect of that. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're now I'll give it to them though. Like I was listening to the, We Don't Trust You and the We Still Don't Trust You. They do pull from like a lot of the older, the classics like 80s, 90s.
Okay.
And 70s. It's pretty good. I haven't heard everything. I heard most of the album. I heard the song that they put J. Cole in, and then I heard the ASAP Rock joint.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but that's the thing, like, because that's the thing. Me and Brittany was actually talking about what I was explaining to her about. They, when they had that copy, talking about pulling the samples.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They did that, 89, 90? Because Public Enemy, they were like notorious for the sampling.
Oh yeah.
And when that came about, they pretty much changed the way the music, really changed the way the music was done overnight. You know what I'm saying? Now people can't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They were trying to put that over people's heads to kind of regulate hip hop. So it's like, dang, exactly. Man.
Exactly.
Yeah,
man. I mean, and that's why I love New York, and I'll never, put New York out of the picture because New York shaped me, and made me who I am. But I've been in Carolina so long. Carolina kind of, made me a man. You know what I mean? So, but New York is my background. It's my foundation. So I can never forget that. And it was good times. It was a lot of hard, rough times too. We had some major fires in the Bronx that made a lot of times when you see those old 80s videos where the buildings look real abandoned and torn out, that was because it was one time when it was just fires all over the Bronx. It was a major thing. It was either the late 70s or early 80s. I can't remember. I want to say it might be the early 80s, but yeah, it was crazy, man. Crazy times. But it was still, still the golden era, man. Still the golden era. So
yeah, even through all that, shoot, man. But yeah,